I gained 0.8 pounds this week, and honestly, I was expecting it. Last week, I talked about how being sick affected my eating, and I knew that there was a possibility that my body would need some time to recover. But here's the exciting part. I started running again. Hi friends, welcome back to the Modern Golden Girl. If you're new here, I'm Julie and I'm on a journey to lose 50 pounds, improve my health, and create a beautiful life after 50. Today I'm sharing my weigh-in, my measurements, what I have learned about post-stress letdown effect, and why starting to run again has brought so much joy to my life. So let's talk about the scale. This week I'm up 0.8 pounds. And honestly, I'm okay with it. Last week I shared that I had been sick and that I wasn't eating enough, nor was I drinking enough water. Sometimes our bodies hold on to water as they recover from stress and illness, and they do what they need to do to get healthy again. One thing I'm learning is that 1 week never tells the whole story. The scale is just information. It's not a measure of my success or failure. It just helps me to know if what I'm doing is working or not. I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm committed to the long game. And here's the exciting news. 4 weeks ago when I started this journey, I took my body measurements and I measured myself again this week. When I measure myself, I measure my waist, my bust, my hips, my upper right arm, and my upper left thigh. And even though the scale went up slightly, I've lost a total of 3.75 inches. That's such a good reminder that progress isn't always reflected just by the number on the scale. Our bodies are always changing, even when we can't see it day to day. I did take before and now photos, and I thought I would share them, but I'm just not quite ready to do that. I want to, and I hope that I get brave enough to, but I'm not going to do it now. Right now, I want this journey to be more about building healthy habits and becoming stronger on the outside and the inside. And hopefully that's okay with you all. Now for the one thing that I am most excited about. I started running again. 13 years ago, when I lost my initial 100 pounds, I started running using an app called Get Running. And it's basically a couch to 5K app. And it's great. It's a 16-week program. And if you follow the theory is if you follow the 16 weeks, you'll be ready to run a 5K at the end. And I'll be honest with you, it took me a lot longer than 16 weeks. I had to rerun many weeks before I got up to the level of being able to run a 5K. And then even after that, I was truthfully and honestly, I was terrified to run a 5K. So I just kept running the last week of the Get Running Couch to 5K app. But eventually I did run my first 5K. And then after that came 10Ks, half marathons, and even one marathon. So I decided to use it again. And you know what? It feels a little bit like coming home. So my first 3 runs have all been a 5-minute warm-up and then 8 1-minute runs. And in between each run, it's a 1.5 minute walk. And honestly, I've loved every minute of it. I'm running 3 days a week, and my sweet dog Indy comes running with me, and she absolutely loves it. She's a little faster than me, and I think sometimes she wonders why we can't speed it up, but she plays along, and she's a good girl. Okay, me and my buddy Indy are out for our first time back to a run. Here we go. Okay. It's hard. That's it.
but I can do it. I've done it before, I can do it again.
As I've reflected on my previous weight loss journey, I've realized something really important. Running didn't just change me physically, it changed me mentally. I was happier, I handled stress better, I felt stronger and more capable. I had more confidence. And getting back out there these last few days has reminded me how important movement is for my mental health, not just my body. And I'm not trying to become the runner I was 13 years ago. There's no way that's going to happen. I'm simply meeting myself where I am today, and it feels really good. I also want to talk to you about something that caught me completely off guard this week: the post-stress letdown effect. I'm a high school counselor. I don't know if I've told you that, but for the past 10 months, I've been working really hard putting out fires, as I like to call it. As a high school counselor, I pour everything into my students. I manage deadlines, I solve problems, and I push through stress every single day. Then summer arrived, and instead of feeling energized, I crashed. I felt exhausted, overwhelmed, emotionally drained. And honestly, I was wondering what was wrong with me. But I've learned that this is actually very common with educators, nurses, EMTs, anyone who works in a high stress situation. We spend months operating in survival mode, and our bodies keep going because they have to. And then when the stress finally ends, everything catches up with us. And I think that's exactly what happened to me. So if you're experiencing something similar, please know that you're not alone. Sometimes rest isn't laziness. Sometimes it's recovery. And I've been giving myself grace during this season. So this week I'm celebrating a lot more than the scale. I'm celebrating losing 3.75 inches, starting to run again, moving my body in ways that bring me happiness and joy, giving myself permission to rest and recover, and remembering that this journey is about so much more than losing weight. If you're on your own health journey, I'd love to know. Have you ever returned to an activity that made you feel like yourself again? If you have, please let me know in the comments below. And if you're walking this road with me, thank you for being here. I'll see you next week for another update. Bye, friends. Stay golden.
Indy! Hi.